So this is a video that shows a one-day climb in the beautiful country of Slovakia. And it is in the Tatra Mountains, which are spectacular in their own right, and which the Slovak people are very proud of and enjoy with winter sports and hiking and climbing in the summer when it's safer. They're serious mountains, alpine-like, very, very jagged, and they're not a place that you'd want to be when the weather is likely to change, which happens at the turn of the season. The mountains are very well developed with their own facilities, lodges, trails, parks, ski slopes, resorts and so on. 16th of September, Jan?
Yeah, 16th September. And look, it's ice, so it's around 0 degrees. Maybe -1 or -2. Hello everybody.
Where are we now, Jan?
Come from this side maybe. So we came from Zuberec.
Right.
Somewhere here is our car on the parking place.
Right, the north of Slovakia.
Yeah, north of Slovakia. West Tatras.
Okay.
Západné Tatry. And this is Tatliakova chata.
Okay.
So we are stay here tonight.
Right.
We take few beers and that's it. And from here, we're going to left to the green.
Right.
This side Rakon, Volovec, Ostri Rohač. Ostri Rohač is very dangerous place, very narrow and very speedy.
Steep.
Steep, sorry. Plačlivo, Trikopy, Banikove sedlo, and Spalená dolina, and back again to Tatliakova chata. This trip is nearly for all day.
All day trip.
It's the hardest trips.
How many hours should it take?
To be honest, I don't know. It depends our condition.
Right.
But I think at least 6 hours. Maybe 6 hours could be.
And what's the maximum height?
The maximum height, for example, here is 2,125, 36, 78. Yeah,
up to 2,000.
Over 2,000. Yeah.
Over 2,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hope we can manage.
Jan and myself had tried to climb one of these peaks in the West Tatras in 2018, but we had started out too late in that day. These mountains are not a place to get stuck at night any time of year because of the elevation and sheer drops that feature in the summiting of any of the peaks that make up the range. West Tatras are the high Tatras. Where are we now, Jan?
Smutná dolina.
How high?
1,522 meters.
1,522. So we're more than 3/4 the way.
Vymyslela si takú tortu, ja neviem, poslala mi aj fotku, ktorú sa nedajú dať, že nedajú maminu, tak takú tortu, šalka, fotelka, ja neviem.
More and we are up
300 more meters. Okay. And the trees are dying because of pine weevil.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there we have those.
Change the climate.
And climate change. It's a combination of bad so-called forestry policy because they use monocrop, which they're changing away from in Slovakia because they're intelligent. And also because the pine weevil has arrived and has no competition and can go from one tree to the next tree very easily because they're very closely planted together and they're all the same tree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Nobody can say better as you.
Yeah.
Where did you study?
Can you see the parking place?
Yeah.
Tam jest pełna dolina, tak?
So that's the Polish lands in the distance into the Central European plain.
Na onom tam pokope. Ma Decathlon do tego.
So Miru, we're going up this way.
I think we go to Baselop. Baselop. BANIKOV, Baselop.
So this is going to be quite slow and a little bit dangerous.
Tutaj też jeszcze chciałem ci na moment, widzisz? To zejście ci idzie?
There is Krivan. It's national symbol of Slovakia.
Okay, so that's the mountain we're looking at right there. So those mountains are the beginning of the central high Tatras.
Yes.
Whereas these mountains that we're in here are the West Tatras.
That are high Tatars.
And these are the high Tatras there in the distance. And that's Krivan, national symbol of Slovakia. How high is that? Does anybody know?
Long time ago, Slovak people think that it is highest mountain, but after later when technology comes, they find out it's not the highest. But it's I think 2,500, 600. I don't remember.
Okay, I'll have to check it out.
700.
Okay. So we have a long trip along this ridge here.
As Jan told, it's like, how you told it, it is Chinese.
It looks as Chinese wall.
Yes,
Chinese wall.
yes it does, yeah. The great
Slovak wall.
the Great Wall of China. There. So we're going along that, and we're going all along that to the next high point, which is right there. And then down, isn't that it?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have another 4 hours of walking, definitely.
Nie, tam masz łańcuch. Widzisz? Łańcuch. Nie, tam musisz. Tak, po dole. Jak chcesz. Po dole.
Now this is a frozen frame. Over to the top on the right, you will just about make out a few specks that are people. And going to the next frame is a zoom in at the same point, and that is the track that we came down, which has a chain along it for your own security, for your own hold, because you can see just how dangerous that is. If you slip there, there's no coming back. And probably this is the most dangerous point on BANIKOV and along that part of the entire ridge. A real challenge on a beautiful day. Very happy the three of us were to have come down there safely and having achieved what we set out to achieve on the day. This is the last rise on this mountain climb before we start to go down, generally going down after that. And the two guys are surprised and quite happy that we've been so far successful enough to have got here in the time that we have. So we're on time and even ahead of schedule according to the route time specifications. We can relax on this bit maybe. And that's the top. And there's the way down. That trail over that top, down the other side, and it's not too difficult after that. Now the decision has been decided as to whether or not to go for the other two peaks, which are these. Those two. And apparently the most dangerous.
Jakby mi się w pierwszym sezonie, nie wiem, popsuły czy coś.
Ale było blisko.
Jak było blisko.
You have to think about the light, how much time there is, and they don't know the trail. So how accurate the actual allocation of time from one peak to the next and from here to the first peak, they're not sure how accurate it is. The decision was made not to go on to finish the entire trail because it is actually a very, very difficult, and probably you need to be much more conditioned than the three of us are. Why was the decision made, Jan? Is that correct or not?
Yes, it's correct. And maybe one more thing, we were very thirsty, so we hurry up down
For
3 beers.
3 beers. Mira, would you agree with that?
Yeah, it's too late, and of course
It's very difficult. It's difficult climbing.
we cannot do it in time.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's dangerous.
yeah. So you can't get caught up there at night time, and probably tonight it'll be below zero up here, won't it?
Yeah. Temperature will go faster down, and
Yeah.
it'll be difficult, you know.
So the two mountains that we're talking about are, somebody introduced them. This one here, what's that called?
This one,
Blachlive.
This is Ostri Rohac.
yeah.
Which one is it?
This is in front of you is Ostrioža, now you are doing.
Right,
Then there is Plačlive,
Blachlive is
and
there.
your left hand is Volovec.
All of it. Is that one? Okay.
So I hope next time we will manage. It
Yeah.
was a big challenge today.
Yeah, it was, yeah. I think we did very well, and everybody's come down safely.
Beautiful weather and
Beautiful weather, yeah,
perfect.
yeah. And we don't have a long drive back because we're going to stay locally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Couple of beers, yeah.